content creator Sally Estlin and the founder of Empowered Clothing. I empower women over 50 to create a conscious and intentional lifestyle on my show, Finding Your Way with Sally Estlin. And here we are. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Sally Estlin. I'm a content creator and a holistically fit specialist. I share authentic and everyday issues for women over 50. So you can learn more about my fashion products and services at empoweredclothing.com.au. So today's topic, it's all about how to create style with sustainability and laughter. And our featured guest today is Ros Ben-Moshe. So before Ros, did I say Res? Sorry. Oh my God, tongue-tied. Doesn't matter. So Ros, I'm so excited to have Ros here today. So before I bring her up from the green room, I'm just going to read out a short little bio about Ros. She's an awesome chick. So Ros is a laughter, wellbeing and positivity author, academic and practitioner. She's adjunct lecturer at the School of Public Health and Psychology at Trobe Uni, where she coordinates the Laughter, Resilience and Wellbeing online short course for professionals. So Ros is also an author of The Laughter Effect, How to Build Joy, Resilience and Positivity in Your Life, which was brought out this year, and Laughing at Cancer, How to Heal with Love, Laughter and Mindfulness. She's often called on for expert opinion in mainstream media, and she's also written for publications including the Canberra Times, Huffington Post and Herald-Sun. So without further ado, let me bring up Ros. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here she comes.
Hello, here I am.
Sorry about that, Res. I don't know where that came from. So welcome. Doesn't that go way back? Does it go back to grade 1? Something like that?
Yeah, no, prep.
Was it prep? It's a long time. We're both in our 50s. Goodness me. And I just thought you were the perfect guest to come on and talk about all things like being stylish, being sustainable, and also bringing laughter into life, because, you know, that's what you're all about. And do you want to share a little bit about yourself and your story?
Sure. Well, you know, it's not like I sort of, you know, during high school, I thought, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a laughter therapist. I just knew that I liked making people happy. I liked, you know, my grandmother used to volunteer, both my grandmothers volunteer in aged care. And sometimes I would, you know, go along with them. And that joy that I got from sharing a smile and making other people smile, or sharing a laugh, making other people laugh. And, but, you know, that was not something that I really thought about too much. And I got into the corporate world, sort of, you know, event management and PR. And, you know, I mean, I was good at what I did, but my heart, you know, just wasn't really in it. And then my body sort of caught up with the fact that my heart wasn't in it. And I actually got chronic fatigue syndrome. And so this was when I was about 23, and I was really quite sick for a few years. And during this time, I was diagnosed with food allergies. And so I started to modify my diet. And, you know, I had definite, you know, some improvement. And so I really experimented with this whole idea of, you know, nutrition and well-being. And I started to research about food as medicine and writing recipes. So this is about 25 years ago or something like that. And I wrote most of my recipes were gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian. And I compiled such a big list of recipes. I thought, basically I got a book or 2 or 3 here.
Yes.
So I sent off my proposal to a few publishers, and they all got back to me more or less saying the same thing. You know, really, you know, we like it, but, you know, we're going to have to pass because there's just not enough market value in these types of books. So, Sal, you could have been talking to me as the queen of gluten-free, but that was not my destiny. Yeah. So I was a bit sort of back to the drawing board, and didn't really, there wasn't, I sort of, by then I realized there was more to well-being than just what we eat. And I thought, I need to find out more about what those magical ingredients are. So I ended up registering to study health promotion at Trobe University, and the administrator said, we'll take you, but you need to have a little bit more equivalence, you know, show that you have some sort of background in this type of area.
Yep.
So As luck would have it, there was a World Health Promotion Conference, and I volunteered as a rapporteur, reported on all these sessions, and it was really awesome. And in a lunch,
Oh, the internet. Can you hear me okay, Ros? It's just gone.
who has done any yoga, I realized as soon as I was in the room, the notepad and pen went right under my seat, because this was something that you had to experience. And the health bounce and excitement and joy that I felt in that short 30 minutes was far greater than anything else I'd experienced.
I just missed the critical part there because it just dropped out. So did you say yoga, laughter yoga?
Laughter yoga. So that's simulated laughter exercises together with deep breathing and clapping ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. So here was I in this room with 70 plus strangers, and I was like, I didn't quite know what to make of it, but it was just electric, the energy, and I felt amazing afterwards. So I didn't know what I'd do with it, got accepted into studies, and there was a lot of talk about mental health, and what they were really talking about was stress and anxiety and depression. And I'm thinking, hey, what about this laughter thing? That really seems like an expression of positive health. So I trained as a laughter yoga facilitator. And then for several years, I went in and out of community centers or hospitals, facilitating laughter yoga and telling anyone who'd listen, it's like, laugh more, it's really good for you, and I became an expert at preaching about laughter being the best medicine.
Yeah.
And this really sort of went on until a distinctly unfunny time in my life, which is when 11 years ago I was diagnosed with bowel cancer. So there's nothing funny about bowel cancer. There's nothing funny about any form of cancer.
Yeah.
And even so, there was this little voice in my head saying, don't give up on this laughter thing. Somehow I knew it was going to be integrated into my practice. And one of the first hints was, a few days prior to major bowel surgery, which was like, a nearly 6-hour operation, I'd been months prior to facilitate a laughter yoga session for a ladies' lingerie corporate business. And it was too late to cancel. And, I'm a professional, and I just thought, I've just got to go on. Just get through this, and then, just got to do it. So, I ran through, some of the health benefits of laughter. It's, good for your heart. It's it helps. It's an aerobic exercise. You can't laugh without breathing. Good for your immune system. And inside, I'm thinking, look what you've got to look forward to in a few days' time. Yeah. And then I ran the actual laughter yoga session, which was the active part. And after that sort of, 20 to 30-minute session, I realized it was the first time that I'd actually benefited. I needed this benefit more than the people I was facilitating it for. So that's what I thought. I thought, okay, after major bowel surgery, I'm going to intentionally laugh.
Yeah. Healing.
Yeah, great idea. Not.
Really?
Oh, God. Anybody who here has had a cesarean, so for a good reason, abdominal surgery, or the not so great reason, will know that once you've had major abdominal surgery, you can't laugh. You physically can barely breathe. It is sheer pain for weeks and weeks. So here was I, this thing that I'd taken for granted my whole life, laughter, was taken away from me. Physically couldn't do it, didn't feel like doing it. So I really thought, now where? And it was about 8 days after the surgery, which thank God everything had gone well, and I got the all clear, which was obviously the main thing. I'd had a very harrowing, painful night, and I'd already sort of had my one dose of morphine in the wee hours, and I was patiently not waiting for the nurse to come and administer the next dose of morphine. And I knew that my two boys, aged then 12 and 15, were going to be coming to visit me in the morning, and they were meant to be taking me home, actually. Anyway, the person came in with the breakfast trolley, and I said, "I'm not hungry, thanks, but no, I'm just not interested." And the lovely lady said, "I'll leave it here just in case." And it's like, okay, if you must, And I'm staring at this food with no appetite. The only thing that really captivated my attention was underneath the food was a white paper placemat and a pencil that they would then, you could write down what you wanted for your next meal, because this was in the olden days, 11 years ago. And I thought, I have to do something to try and change my mindset, to tap into sort of that more of a positive mindset. And the first thing that came to mind was, okay, I need to list just some things that I'm grateful for about having had this operation. So I mark out a tiny, thin, narrow margin on the left-hand, side of the placemat. And I start to recount things that I'm grateful for. So, I'm grateful that I had the operation in a world-class hospital. I'm grateful for the loving support of friends and family, the amazing medical staff, nurses, cleaners. All of a sudden, there's another margin. And I kept writing and writing and writing. And in no time at all, there was another margin, and my writing just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And by the end of this process, I sort of looked at myself, sort of took a sort of step back, if you know what I mean, and I noticed that I was sitting serenely smiling, like there was this inner smile, this outer smile, and momentarily I'd forgotten my pain. And I must have really looked differently, because the nurse who was on duty, who, was about to administer my next dose of morphine, came into my room, but she immediately boomeranged out, because she just thought, I've gone into the wrong room.
Right.
So that was my first experience of really this idea of the laughter effect. It's like tapping into the energy of laughter, in the essence of joy, through a different way, rather than ha 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 laughter. And gratitude was my introduction to that.
It's just such an amazing story, because I'm all about gratitude for shifting the energy and shifting the perspective, but
Yes.
using laughter coming out of that, and that's amazing. But I'm visually thinking of the nurse coming in and seeing you looking, with a smile on your dial and just in another world, because you've shifted that energy from the pain to something else. And, meditation does that as well. It takes you from one place to another, transports you. But laughter is the common denominator here. It's like it's the conduit to help you shift from one to the other. It's such a beautiful story. Through the pain, you're finding insights. And, I hadn't thought about laughing when you've got abdominal surgery, because having had a Caesar, I couldn't laugh for a long time.
Yes.
Nothing was that funny, really.
No. And that's what I had done, was I'd actually switched on my body's pain management. I'd triggered the endorphins. And the inner smile, and gratitude is one way in which we can actually, tap into that inner smile, tap into that source of well-being, that most of us just sort of think has to wait for all the stars to align and for us to be feeling great. But what happened in that sort of half hour or whatever it was taking this, I suppose an analogy of, a darker night sky, and we know that stars only twinkle then. You don't get stars in the broad, the broad blue, skies. So it was really amazing just to have that knowledge that, hey, I can actually switch on my own source of well-being. Like, wow.
I love it because it's all about the inner work, and I love how you term it the inner smile, because that's what it is. The
Yes.
real work is done on the inside, and that's where the change happens. And as you say, it was turning on the endorphins, it was switching up the chemistry, the biochemistry without the whole body. And it's, it's so encouraging to others and inspiring to others. And I think we've frozen up again. Oh, I
Just
can't believe this.
we're frozen. Do you think it's me?
I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. We'll get through it. But, do you want to talk about your book? This is the old cover, shall we say? Like, you've written a book about it all. Well, several books, actually, as we mentioned earlier. But this is the actually, your cover's nicer because that's
Well,
the new.
That's the Australian and New Zealand edition that you've got. So this
Right.
one is the one that's coming out in the States in March. So it really pops. And there's actually going to be 9 different editions, Sal. We're going to have it in all different languages, in Chinese, in Arabic, in Greek, in
Language.
Spanish, in Portuguese, in Hungarian, in South Korean, in Russian if there's peace, and somewhere else, and various audio books as well. So so it's really, I think it's just that time that I think people are looking for. This is a practical guide to joy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's an after effect, but it is a practical guide to joy. These are techniques and strategies that people can integrate into their daily life. Micro moments of levity, micro moments of humor, reframing challenging situations through the lens of, a positive emotion like gratitude or love or awe, finding the funny, seeing and seeking the funny in things, switching on our smile, whether it's at a traffic light, for example, rather than, getting to a traffic light and being stuck in traffic, it's like, oh, another bloody traffic light. It's like, this is an opportunity for me to breathe, to smile, or even to laugh out loud. And that is the beauty of these more of an intentional practices, is that we can activate them whenever we feel the need. And laughter is something that, many people, find very vulnerable, when they're doing laughter. Brene Brown talks about laughter being one of those, vulnerable triggers. But you can, for example, if you're driving by yourself and you're feeling a bit anxious or a bit down, you can choose just to just think about something funny and laugh about it, or tune into a funny podcast, or call someone on the phone that's going to make you laugh. And anybody who's driving past or walking past will just assume that you're chatting with a best friend or whatever it is. But it's not being complacent in the things that make us feel good, in the things that raise our vibration, that that really, so.
I think you're spot on. It's about not being complacent. And isn't it funny how one of the most common terms in texting and everything is LOL, laugh out loud. It's all around us. And, switching it on and having that mindfulness to stop and reframe a situation, and then use those little moments like at the traffic lights, because everything's a choice to see things in a positive or a negative way. And particularly when we're dealing with ill health, there are positives to be found out of that situation. And it's interesting because obviously we mentioned before that we grew up together and we were besties throughout secondary school. And your essence is just, good old-fashioned fun, and we laugh so much. And do you remember we used to go out dating at around year 9 or 10, and I grew up with hardworking dad, and we didn't have much, and we were out in the burbs, and we'd go out together, and all I had to put on was mum's clothes, right? And it was white frilly collars with the pink jumpers, and we used to go matching.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
It's funny because the topic is about creating with sustainability today, laughter. And we didn't have all the options that we had growing up that kids have now. The things we just didn't have access to it. Like Kmart, the clothes are so cheap, or Target, and it's very disposable. You buy something and you chuck it out. And back in those days, we went out on dates wearing our parents' clothes, and we just used to wear the same thing. Or dancing class, I had
Yeah.
2 outfits that I would alternate over the whole time. 2 good frocks.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, times have changed so much, and laughter brings us back to basics, and it takes all those layers of judgment and criticism and all the external yucky stuff away, and it helps us just get down to the core essence of the inside of us with the feel good. Like it is just makes you feel good.
It is, and it's because it's just such a fundamental part of what makes us human. We
Mm.
smile and laugh before we communicate with words. It's one of the first ways we bond with our caregivers, and it's just something that it's this inner resource that we have for a very, very good reason.
Mm.
It's I think people who smile more, and they tend to be more successful. I mean, this is evidence-based stuff, because who doesn't like a boss that you can sort of that sort of conveys that warmth, and passing someone in the street, the difference in your mood to someone who sort of might scowl at you, to someone who takes the time to smile. I mean, it's just these. And so basically what that has, it actually taps into our neurochemistry, like we were talking before, because you get this hit of dopamine. It's like, yes, yes, I got my smile reward. Yes, I got my laugh reward.
Yeah.
And, that is just such a, it just makes us human. It's how we communicate with others, in a friendly way, in a joyful way. Our conversations are littered with laughter. We don't even think about it. But 80% of laughter in conversations is not because a joke has been said. It's just natural, just sort of laughter punctuating sentences. It's like, how cool was this? Talking about, our school days. So it's this punctuation effect of laughter, which is why when you mentioned about, one of the most common emojis is LOL, as much as that's, it's okay, you cannot compare to laughing out loud with someone. It doesn't even have to be your best friend, just anyone, just laughing and smiling. It's just such a potent way in which, we connect.
I love it when you have a good ab ache. You laugh so much that your abs are aching. And I say you can get a six-pack from laughing, right?
You can. On your cheeks and everything.
Yeah. And I mean, babies, when they're born, that's what everyone's looking for. Oh, look, they're smiling. And it's that pure essence of the authentic person. I just love that.
Yes.
What else was I going to say? And both of you and I are down on the coast as well as up in the city. And you've noticed a difference down on the coast that, you're walking along and you get a g'day, mate. And a bit of a nod, and everyone says, hi. It's just, it opens doors and it creates warmth. And you were talking about bosses before, and it does increase productivity. It increases performance because it breaks down those barriers of fear. Like it's like someone opening their door saying, come on in, love. And it's just the same sort of thing when people are smiling and happy and laughing. It's when it's authentic, right? It has to be authentic.
Well, when it's authentic, but again, and it's tapping into that neurochemistry of oxytocin, that's our molecule of trust. That's, so, when you share a laugh or a smile with someone, you are building trust. You are building that, that love, really, at some level.
Totally. So what I've done on the bottom is I've just put your empowerment share, and we've basically been talking about that. But your empowerment share for us today is, I made a life plan and God laughed. Perhaps I took the laughter literally. Ill health guided me towards the healing benefits of laughter, and so began my life's joyful work. I mean, it was a blessing. Out of all what perceived negative things, it's a blessing because now you're on the world stage. You're now going in 9 different languages with your book and helping people. You're empowering other women or other people. It's to see the positives out of it. And as you said, finding the tools and techniques to help you navigate forward in a more joyful way. It's like, amazing stuff, Ros. Like, amazing.
Right back at you, Sal.
So then we brought along today an expert tip. Don't leave smiling, laughter, or experiencing joy to chance. There are countless authentic ways within your power to infuse your life with these positive moments. And do you want to expand a little bit more on that? It's a little bit about what we're talking about anyway.
So, it's how do you start your day? How do you set the tone of your day? Even if nothing particularly great is going on in your life, it's so important just to sort of signal, the first, when we open our eyes, like, do we reach for our phone and start checking our emails, or do we place a heartfelt smile on our face and think about, something we're looking forward to, or something, that just makes us feel good inside? And then, taking that a step further, it's, going to, when you going to the mirror, it's like, rather than thinking, oh my God, another gray hair, another wrinkle, it's like, just smiling, just accepting, self-compassion with a smile. There's there's so much inner judgment. There's so much inner the more we can sort of.
That last little bit cut out. It's still cutting out. So don't leave smiling, laughter, or experiencing a joy to chance. Oh, Ros has popped off. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, until she comes back in, I'll just put that down there until Ros pops back up. So today we were talking about, it's linking into the creation or the creation chakra, which is the orange one. Let me see if I can get Rosie back in. Hang on a tick. No, she's gone off. Oh, well, doesn't matter. All good. There we go. Here she is back in.
On the off chance.
There we go. Are we there? Yeah. Perfect. We got you back. That was quick. That was good.
Excellent. So, it's this ripple effect of what we put out into the world. And so, if we wake up and it's not like it's tricking our body into feeling these joys. It's actually just sending it an invitation. It's like, hey, by placing a smile on your face and thinking about something that, makes you feel good, it actually starts the day by tuning into that sort of dose of positive well-being. And when I'm talking about dose, it's dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And what tends to happen, throughout the day, there's stuff going on, and that triggers our stress and our cortisol. So the more we can sort of sneak in these micro moments of joy, the more we can sort of experience more positive, authentic positive emotion. So it's about training ourselves. It's, what we place our attention on, what we focus on, that's what grows. So, we can either grow goodness or we can grow gripes, or, we can grow, laughter, or we can grow loathing. It's really, as you said earlier, you're either in a positive mindset or a negative mindset. But just like a darkened room can just be opened, brightened and illuminated by a tiny match, it's the same thing with positivity. It doesn't have to be huge things. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to wait for your once in a year birthday celebration. This is about bringing it all back to things within our control. A lovely conversation with a friend, a beautiful blue sky day, a beautiful flower, and really just deepening that sort of attention to that particular thing and pausing into it and really absorbing, how it makes you feel, and, allowing that sort of smile that might be sort of quite deep within to bubble to the surface. Or, on days, if you're feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, perhaps don't watch the news. Perhaps rather than doom scroll, you can cheer scroll. You can brighten your mood, whether that's cat videos, or whether that's, a funny meme, or whether it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And you know how it is. It's like if you wake up and you just decided that you're in a bad mood, and you go, the next place you go, and it's like you're just in a bad mood. It's like you shut down. You're very, very narrow.
Yep.
And it doesn't take much for us to actually say, this bad mood isn't serving me well. But sometimes we think, stuff it, I'm just going to stay in a bad mood because I
Yep.
can't be bothered making the effort. But wow, when we do, just like that, we
Yep.
can just change the way we feel. So
Yep.
first it's about changing the way we feel, and that's the ripple effect that then filters out into the world. Then it's how people respond to us, and it just grows and grows and grows. So we can really ripple out this positivity in action very, very simply, if we choose to. And that's micro moments, the small things, those little things. They shouldn't be confused as insignificant. They're hugely significant, because the more they can form the beat of our day, necessarily, the less the stressful things will.
We are so on the same page. Setting your intentions for the day in the morning, I find so powerful, because my whole thing with the clothing, for example, is, and what you're saying, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So what are you choosing to focus on? Because what we're all about is empowering people to realize that we are in the driver's seat of our own energy. We are in the driver's seat of our choices. There's not much that we can control, but we can control how we think, feel, and act, and making a choice about that, responding rather than reacting quickly, taking the moments to stop and pause and do it, and choosing, are we going to be positive and grateful about the situation, or are we going to be negative, fearful, blamey game, all that sort of thing? And it really does form and shape our lives and our days and our moments. And you know what? We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. And like, laughter breaks that down. And I was just going to tie it into living more sustainably, because, both you and I think we're kind of on the same page. We can't stand the waste in this world. And, when it comes to, you can be stylish and laugh at yourself. That's where I find laughter really important, where you don't take yourself too seriously. I remember we both went overseas about 2021, something like that. I think you went a bit earlier. And I was going to go on a kibbutz. And I really love the concept of a kibbutz, where you get up and you just take whatever's on the top of the pack. And then you went on a kibbutz. And isn't that where you met your husband?
Yeah.
Like, amazing. And that was sustainable living back then. That was back in the 80s. And,
Right.
we were talking about the old days. It's 10, 15 years ago. But and even what you were doing with your health stuff, right? That was very much ahead of the times, with gluten-free, dairy-free. I mean, that's how I've been living for. Sorry, something is ringing on my thing. I can't do that. So it's very much, these days, sustainability is really important. Like, look at what's happening to the planet. And I'm sure your kids are very aware of that, as am I. And there's so much that we can do without having to spend lots of money. And that's what I was saying. Laughter is a free thing. And when we combine that with our mindset, super, super powerful.
Yeah. It's interesting when you think about, like, the root of the word sustainability. It's about, sustaining. So sustainability, most people would sort of think it is an external thing. It's about things that happen outside of you, but actually it's like, how do we sustain ourselves? It's like, how can we build sustainable versions of ourselves so we can have a bright future? And what we choose to wear, whether we sort of buy into the Melbourne black winters, or whether we wear our colors, but it's winter now. But how can we create that sustainable version of ourself? And there are so many aspects to that. And and one of the key things in building that version of ourself is being able to really sort of keep a handle on stress. And how can we keep on upregulating joy and positivity and laughter, and those those connections with people that really lift us up rather than put us down, because otherwise, just like an item of clothing, will just start fraying and fraying and fraying. So it's about turning towards the people, the places, the work that really feeds our soul. That's really the key to our sort of inner sustainability, I think.
Oh, that is so spot on. It is so spot on. It's just that inner happiness, that inner joy, following that path. And laughter breaks so many boundaries, as we've said, but I just love that connection with yourself, because that's sustainable. If you're trying to keep up with the Joneses on whatever level, that's not sustainable. That's going to fuel your stress, your anxiety. Yeah.
Absolutely, Sal. Spot on.
It's just something that I think more and more COVID started to bring us back to basics and start to do that inner work of what is actually bringing me the joy and what is stressing me. And people realized all that, rushing around to work, is it really worth it? Working from home, it gave us all these flexibilities. So I think it's a time of where we really need to be more sustainable within ourselves, creating that. And laughter is one of the great things, one of the barrier breakers, if you like. Oh, I just love it, love it, love it. I'm going to just tie it in with what, I was just talking about the clothing before, but today is all about the sacral chakra, which is about creating. I know, and it's the color. And part of this came about from yoga. It wasn't laughter yoga, but it was yoga. I've been doing yoga, 30 plus years. And one of my yogi teachers was from New York, and he said, why does everyone in Melbourne wear black? It's such a dead color. And I thought, well, I'm wearing black because I've got young kids, or it was even before kids. I just felt overweight and I wanted to hide. And he said, embrace color. And then I thought, so 30 years ago, I started wearing color, and then I started just picking colors in line with the chakras. And so now I've created this empowered clothing range where you can get more powerfully every day. You get up, right? You open the cupboard and go, what am I going to wear? And you think about what you're going to put on, because you want to reflect some sort of energy. So, well, what if we can do it more powerfully? So this one that I've got on now is the choosing to create, which is the sacral chakra. And I have powerful affirmations and intentions on the racer back. This one is, what am I choosing to create today? Stepping more powerfully into the driver's seat of your energy. And then on the long sleeve, intention is creating balance, fun, and abundance. So fun in your days, balance with your time and energy, abundance on all levels, because it's all there. We forget that abundance is all around us. And then I've combined it with carnelian, is the I have chakra little hearts that go in a little pocket on the side. I know, and I just think
so clever. It's just so impactful, You be able to feel the energy. You're wearing the energy. You're sending out that sort of cue. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And not taking myself too seriously, but I think, I'm at an age, we've got all this wisdom inside of us, like igniting this wisdom. And, it's time that we got in the driver's seat of our own energy. Like we said, we're in control of our choices. And so what are we choosing to step into today? And I'm choosing to create stuff, right? And it's because life's too short. Like this carnelian, for example, this promotes physical health and emotional balance. It awakens and stimulates your creative energy. And it's also the passion and the sexuality about stuff, right? And I
think I need that.
Come away, baby. But my sister Beck and I, we've created these candles, and so we've got chakra candles infused with Australian essences. Everything is made in Melbourne, and this is made with love, and it's got the carnelian little crystal chips, and it works with the affirmations on it. So I'm choosing to create. What am I choosing to create? And then another girlfriend, Claire, who's in Phillip Island, has done all these energetic aura clearing sprays. So this is the creation one. Amazing stuff, because everything is so powerful, and it's all about your intention. What am I choosing to bring in? What am I choosing to expand? So which is like with your books. Have you got your book again? Let's have a little look at your book.
I don't, because I moved rooms.
The laughter effect, and you're going off to the States next year to
I am. It's going to launch in March, but people can pre-order now. So yes, very exciting.
And it's also on Audible, because I've got them on Audible. So we've got the other book is Laughing at Cancer: How to Heal with Love, Laughter and Mindfulness. Like, you're very gifted, and you're so heartfelt, and you just want to help people create change in their lives, positive change through laughter. It's a connector. Fantastic. Well, Ros, thank you so much for coming on and bearing with all our internet sort of like ups and downs. But
me. No, thank you, Sal. And I can't wait to wear one of your products so I can endorse you and what you do, because I just think it's marvelous. And obviously I must need some sort of sacral chakra something today, the fact that you're in that. And I'm giving you the purple, the crown chakra.
Connected. Oh yeah, the higher self. Oh, that's a whole other episode. But
Yes.
we are master creators, and we can create whatever we choose in our life. And
Yes.
I've actually got some creation range pants coming out soon, and I'm just finishing off the men's range with the frequency ones. So yeah, all in bamboo. It feels amazing. So more sustainable. Yeah, it's really breathable.
Let's do pandas.
Oh man, Rosie. So I'll just pop these ones down. So yeah, we've got, as I said, I've got the bracelets, and I've got the candles and the crystals. It's whatever, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So what are you choosing to focus on? Because it's super duper important.
Yes.
People don't understand, how we can really create what we're choosing in our lives. It really is get that focus and intention right, and it's amazing what you can produce out of that. So yeah, I'm just dropping those down. I'm learning how to drive this thing.
I absolutely love it. I wish you only success and much love and laughter and joy. And as I say, I'm really, I'm going to have to be a model for your clothes, because I think they're just fabulous. Question is, which would I go for? Which color? Which thing?
Whatever you're drawn to, because that's the energy that's talking to you, right?
It's funny, I'm catching trust in the background there. So
yeah, third eye. Yeah.
That's today's something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being a guest on Finding Your Way with Sally Estlin. I'm just going to drop you down to the green room, and can't wait to catch up with you over the Chrissy break down on the coast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't wait.
All right, Rosie, we'll catch you soon. Pop you down. Thank you again.
Yep.
So thanks, everyone. You can join me for another episode of Finding Your Way with Sally Estlin next Wednesday. It's 3 p.m. Pacific time, and Thursday at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, it's never too late to start laughing. You just heard from Ros how it can be so life-changing, transformative, tap you into all the feel-good hormones, just release a lot of stress, because life's about having joy, not about stress and burden. Let's reduce the stress and anxiety and enjoy our moments. We're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. So on that one, I'm just going to pop down, and we'll see you next time. And I'll just do this little thing, get rid of myself. Thank you for joining me today. You can learn more about me, my Empowered Clothing, products and services at empoweredclothing.com.au. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sally Estlin, the Holistically Fit Specialist.